Hello, hello. Welcome to the news. This week, fantastic news about aircraft releases. So I'm joined once again by our fearless co-host, GibboIreland, the man over there. How are you, Gibbo?
Two-tone after Murphys. How you doing? You well?
I'm good. Dude, what a week in flight sim. All sorts of stuff and, aircraft. So we'll start with this one. This looks insane. The Avro Lancaster. Aeroplane Heaven, well, they've been flat out busy. You know, they've given us, their first release was a Cessna, then came the Spitfire, then came the F3, all of a sudden a P-51, and, they're showcasing now some early work at the Lancaster. What do we know about it?
Yeah, so first of all, the Lancaster, as you know well, Murph, was a 4-engine long-range heavy bomber for the RAF during the Second World War. And we have some images here from Aeroplane Heaven, as you can see, and it's showing us the front turret. Mm-hmm. And that gives us an idea of some of the detail that's going into the model. Now, we're few and far between with the images. This is really all we have at the moment. But of interest, maybe the picture that you can see here of the Browning shell loading system, which was just really a wire with a hook on one end and a ring on the other. And the gunner would thread the hooked end of the wire through the breech in the gun and out the other side to pick up the clip of the first shell in a new load. So primitive, but it worked.
Absolutely.
It worked. So yeah, interesting developments going on here from Aeroplane Heaven. We're very light on details or even release dates at the moment, but it's good to see that this is working. Oh, one final thing. As we know, of course, this also includes the Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. The same as those powering the Supermarine Spitfire, Hawker Hurricane, and of course the North American P-51 Mustang.
Nice. I can't wait for this one. They've already shown us a couple of preview shots of the DC-3 as well, so things are about to get really exciting when it comes to the Warbirds. So staying with Aeroplane Heaven, this only came out under the radar. They kind of said nothing, and I was like, yeah, we just released it. And of course, it is the North American P-51 Mustang. Now, I've flown this, I have it, and I have to say, by far, this is Aeroplane Heaven's best released so far on Microsoft Flight Simulator. This thing is incredible. It has a ton of new features not yet seen in the sim, and I have to say, it flies really, really well also. What do we know about it?
So it's a high fidelity model with details all around, including a authentic cockpit with custom animations and effects, full PBR textures, a variety of liveries, accurate flight dynamics, and a W-Wise sound set. There's a couple customization options available in the cockpit, including several reticles will be available for the gun sight, as well as several radio panels, including a modern AS430. And there's also some hidden switch panels as well that allow you to choose between pilot models, engine covers, or radio units. So yes, Murph, as you know, this is available at the moment on Aeroplane Heaven's website, and it's priced at $36. Now, Murph, as we know, this is available from Asobo through the Reno update as well. So if we were to compare the two, is it apples and oranges? What's your views there?
Yeah, we had a quick look at this ourselves yesterday, and we actually had them both parked right beside each other, and we were like, this is, the detail in this one from Aeroplane Heaven is staggering. I mean, as good as the Asobo ones look, and they are very, very good, this thing, it's just out there, man. The functionality that it has, you can literally open up the sides of the wings, check where the ammunition goes. You can, look at the machine guns there. You can open up the front of the airplane, remove the, you can just see everything. It's bananas, the amount of work that they've put into this thing. Not only that, but something that is interesting, and it was something I commented on with Caronado, Aeroplane Heaven have their own pilot avatar, their own, character dude that sits in the plane. Now, granted, it looks like he came out of, 28 days later, but they have a little switch that you can flick, and it'll actually load in the Asobo avatars. So it is interesting that they said, not everyone is going to like this pilot character. So yeah, so it's great kind of out of the box thinking from them. And it's fantastic to see, and I would say this is by far their best release so far, and their other aircraft have been great already. I mean, don't forget the electric came out as well, so it's great to see more thick and fast, and hopefully we can get a few more in here as well. But certainly anyone who wants a P-51 Mustang in their life of a very high class model that looks, sounds and flies really well, this is definitely recommended for you. So moving on News from PMDG. I'm holding the card that says GICNA exempt very close for the moment because, well, they've released some news and we expect even more news a little bit later this week. What's happening over at PMDG?
Yes, Murph, lots going on here. So they have changed up their product release strategy for the 737 that's coming imminently for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So let's break it down. What they're doing is they're separating the releases based on body types so that you can purchase just the body type that you want. So for example, their initial release will be the 700 series airframe, and it'll come with 737-700 body in a couple of iterations, including the BCF, which is the cargo variant, and the BBJ, which is the business jet variant as well, with the winglet options too. And then they intend to do the same similarly thereafter for the 800 series, where it'll come with the 800 BCF and BBJ2, and then they'll treat the 600 and 900 similarly as well thereafter. Their objective, they say, is to keep the price down. They expect a 6-week lag time between each release, with the 700 series being first. They haven't determined the final order for the remainder. So there's still a few moving parts to be nailed down. I believe that there's still the issue that they're working with the Sobo on that's to be resolved too. But yes, it's an interesting change, you know, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I think for me, it ultimately boils down to what the price point is. You know, I think it's also fair to say that a lot of people, if they had their preference, will be waiting on the 800. So by releasing the 700 first, is that a smart business decision? Sounds like it, because a lot of people will pick that up first and then, you know, strongly consider the 800 when that, you know, comes thereafter too. So yes, interesting developments going on. What do you think, Murph?
Yeah, like I think, you know, historically, if you were buying a PMDG product on another platform, you would buy the base model. And for the 737 on P3D, that retailed at $99. Then you can buy the expansion packs. You can get the NG or the NGX, whatever it's going to be. And typically they range between like $25-$30 for each add-on for that base aircraft. I think for me, I honestly don't know. I don't know how this will bode for them. You know, we saw on the forums whereby, you know, Robert had said, well, look, if you're going to buy the 700 and the 800, well, both of them combined will still be cheaper than our older platform or older model, if you like, of buying a 737 and one expansion. So the pricing here is going to be interesting, I think. Not to mention, you know, they've already made references to they've had their best sales ever with the DC6 on any platform. So it's going to be interesting to see where the price point comes in. I think this is a great discussion point, though. I mean, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Would you rather, you know, invest into one type of airframe, call it the 737, and then you add on, you know, different airframes to that? I want the 800 series, or I want the 900 series. Or are you saying, no, I'm happy enough, you know, I'm going to pick up the 700 because it's kind of like a classic aircraft now. They are being phased out. The 800 is definitely more popular. The 900, they're still in there, and there's also talk of the 600 series coming in as well. For me, I think if I want a 737, I probably want the 800 first, and if I had a need, I mightn't go back just one generation. I might go back two for the 6. I don't know. It's going to be preference. Like anyone who wants a Boeing 737 in the sim, they've already decided the first release they're going to get. It doesn't matter what it was going to be. It could have been a 400. It's like, no, we're getting it. That's it. I want it. So yeah, let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are. Either way, it's fascinating and really exciting news, because if PMDG are saying, right, this thing is coming, we've figured out how to make everything work, this is good for us, because we're finally going to see another PMDG product out there, and we all know and love the DC6, and I just can't wait to see what they can do with some of these. Really, really exciting times ahead of us, so I can't wait for this one. So moving on, look at this thing. We're always talking about this thing, but every time we see it with its fantastic nose, it's getting even nicer looking. And well, we're aware that DC Designs are saying about their other fleet of aircraft, the F-15, the F-14 and so on. They were saying, well, he's going to work on the textures and make them look a bit more, do you know. But then he starts talking about the Concorde and systems. What's happening here, Gibbo?
It's getting exciting, isn't it? So yeah, DC has given us an update as always on the work that's going on with the Concorde, and he shared it's getting a little intimidating for him with the work that's still ahead in terms of the flight deck and specifically the engineer station, etc. That he's investing so much time in really trying to give us a fantastic release here, and he's building it all up on his own in terms of the modeling, animation, and texture art. Where he's at the moment is he's finished animation and coding of most of the switches on the flight deck for functionality in terms of being able to manipulate them, and he's also completed most of the decal work. Texture work is still ongoing with the vast majority of the essential stuff there, and it's now into the refinement and improvement stages over the coming weeks. And yes, he shared that most of the functions will have a purpose, even on the engineers panel. He's conscious of the target market as well and how much it needs to be closer to study level or not. I think he's still debating that himself. He's absolutely shared that this is going to be the most immensely complex release that he's ever done in comparison to anything else that has been released. So won't quite be study level, but at the same time, he said you're not going to be able to just take this away and blast off to Mach 2 at 50,000 feet. You're going to have to fly it in the right way. So final thing here is that DC is working with the Asobo directly on the flight model. Of course, with the Delta Wing, there's a lot of unique characteristics in terms of an operational flight envelope to be built in here. And again, he's making some fantastic progress that he's pleased to report on that too. So lots going on here. I can't wait for this. You can have your 7.3 all day long. I'll take my Concorde, Murph.
Well, it's looking fantastic, and that's the main thing here. And again, I'm really excited. I think he said, expect kind of February release for this aircraft. So exciting times ahead for sure. So moving on. This is look at the state of this. Gibbo, you're checking out some scenery, free scenery, which I like to hear about. But this is from Thrustmaster, the guys who bring us some incredible hardware. But they went off and they built Island. And well, Gibbo, we kind of set you loose in it to cause all sorts of havoc. How did you get on?
It's fun, Murph. Yes, this came out of nowhere. Thrustmaster have released Island, which is a 14 gigabyte download on their website. We'll have a link to that in the comment section below, in the description below. But yes, it's an island located somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. And it's got a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of a hodgepodge of a variety of different things, from cool sights to interesting things to do. There's a actual fancy international airport near Tower City is what they're called, which is the main settlement on the island. There's also a number of additional airways scattered throughout the island, from small tarmac runway right at the edge of a cliff to a small patch of grass that you'll see in a moment in this video in the middle of a lake. And it's got a couple of challenges there as well, including a tight and curvy canyon, as you can see here, where it's fun to nip through. We've got some waterfalls thrown in the mix as well, just out of nowhere. And this is it's an interesting creation. It comes across to me, at least, as an experimental release. Thrustmaster perhaps testing their scenery creation capabilities. But it's fun. It's fun. It's something I don't think you take too serious. There's some even alien-like stuff going on in places. So yeah, interesting. Oh, there are also some areas that you'll see if you do download this, where it says it's work in progress and it's under development. So that does indicate that there is more updates to come. So yeah, as you'll see here, Murph, this is me trying to land in the middle of a lake, and obviously doing a fantastic job.
The approach here looks absolutely fantastic. It's you're coming in hot now, but you're listening to grand. Yeah, at this stage you'd want to be
panic.
Yeah, good show. Yeah, it's
10
great.
out of 10 for effort.
Yeah, absolutely. It is interesting though, and it looks remarkably like Knocknagoshel below there in County Kerry. But it is interesting to see what Thrustmaster are about here. And okay, they've created a make-believe island to go messing around with things. I wonder kind of what the end game is here. Is it purely to test or even flex their muscles to say, look, we can do software development? Or is this perhaps the ideal proving ground when it comes to testing out their own equipment, be it with yokes or joysticks? So yeah, interesting. It is a whopper of a download. It's an even bigger whopper of an install. I think it's about 24 gigs installed or something like that.
That's right. Yes.
Do you know, so it's, and mainly that's just for the teeth or the tusks or whatever they are. They look majestic though. But look, it's great to see, and I think the good news here is, well, it's free. So if you guys would like to have a check out of this thing on a Friday night stream and we set up some sort of all sorts of crazy, let us know in the comments below, and we'll get planning. It could be fun. So moving on. Look at the state of the videography on this. Cinematics like you've never seen them before, right?
Shameless self-promotion.
Yeah. So the video we're watching is from myself. It's from myself. This, of course, is the Coronado, the C337, known as the Skymaster 2. Coronado have released this finally into Microsoft Flight Sim. They started talking about this way back when, I think it was in August. And whatever issues they were having, they eventually got it over the line. Now we have it. And well, I have to say, off the bat, it's a fantastic product. It's a really, really nice airplane to fly. And I've flown one of these in real life, so I'm relatively familiar around some of the things that you need to do. And what Coronado have actually done here, it's fairly accurate, in fact, by the book. It operates the push-pull engines, where you have one on the front, one on the back. It has the usual array of Coronado goodness. You have all the fantastic visuals. It's the reflections, the model work, the texture work, both inside and out. It has the tablet, which is hidden away in the corner, and that has the normal functionality of, opening and closing doors, your static elements from anywhere from the cones on the ground to a GPU connected to the aircraft, and all your inlet covers. Also, it comes with about 6 different liveries, which are nice. They're all high quality, high resolution textures. The only kind of area for me was the sounds. They're not terrible, but I just think they need a little bit of a tweak, and I think that seems to be the case with a lot of the Coronado aircraft at the moment. But by and large, I highly, highly recommend this aircraft, especially if you're into your GA flying. It is a very unique and wonderful airplane to fly. What are your guys' favorite Coronado release so far? Like, what do you think has been their best aircraft so far in Microsoft Flight Sim? Let us know in the details below. And the reason why I'm asking you, this is probably my favorite. I mean, this is every bit as good, if not better, than their last release, being the Seneca. Because they just got it right. This was an incredible plane on X-Plane. It was so good in X-Plane when they released it in X-Plane 12. They never updated it, and you were still able to use it in X-Plane 11. This is a fantastic airplane, and they've done a fantastic job here. Gibbo, what do you think? Have you flown this yet? Is it on your radar? Is it something you're going to pick up?
Yeah, I think I commented on this video actually when you released it, Murph. I might give this one a pass. I've got every other Coronado release, so I'm not sure if it offers, for me, a huge amount that's different. I think I'll be looking forward to the Twin Otter. That's any day now, so that's what I'll put my hard-earned against, I think.
I think that's coming out tomorrow. But yeah, so I'll leave a link for the video. If you haven't watched it, I give it, now it goes on for a while. Do you know what I'm like? But it gives it a full rundown, how to start it and fly it, and generally have a bit of crack with it. So yeah, do be sure to check it out. So moving on, our last bit of information for today's show, and well, it's not that of, well, that thing, and that is a certified Gibbo. It's very nice though. But anyway, we have a huge development update for our own community, part of our own TTM panel. Gibbo, what is going on with this?
So picture the scene, Murph. You're in the sim, as I am here, and you want to fly with somebody, and you're not sure where everybody is or if anybody's flying at the moment. So, as you say, there's an update coming any day now for the Two-Time Murphy in-sim panel, where it has a Fireflies map.
Ooh.
Very simply, as you can see here, by opening up the panel and adding yourself to the Fireflies group in flight events, you can then see what other people are doing if they're online. So here, as it happened, when I was recording this, there's Wacamo, our good buddy Wacamo. Billy No Mates Gibbo wanted to join in, so I was able to find Wacamo within the sim. As you can see here, I was able to right click on his name and actually find his info, find his route, find his heading and altitude, etc. He happened to be, I think, off the coast of Cuba here, which was very nice, much better than casement here where I was, weather-wise at least. So all I needed to do, Murph, then was visit this location, which is the Flight Events website, and then right-click and teleport. So I was able to choose my altitude, click teleport, and you can see in a second I was there joining Whack-A-Mo. So it offers the Fireflies a way to find each other, fly with each other, and just enjoy the sim together in a different way. So for me, it's been one of my pet peeves that I just want to jump in, join somebody, and hang out, and this allows us to do it. There I am with Whack-A-Mo, as you can see. So surprise, Whack-A-Mo, I just jumped in and joined you, but it's fun, and that's only the starting point. I mean, you and I have talked about, along with Naughty Gnome, who deserves a huge mention here for all his efforts in putting this together for us. This is a starting point. Things that we could add on top of this would be, for example, voice, where we could actually, I could have a chat with Whack-A-Mo, and we could hang out there together. We might use Discord for that, so that might come next as well. And lots more, coming to the InSim panel, such as charts and other things. So, you can download it for free at the twotonmurphy.com/downloads website. You'll find it right there on screen.
Cool. It is a lot of fun, and it's great to see other people flying. So with me, outside of the panel, I use flight events to integrate ForeFlight in Microsoft Flight Sim. And what's even better now is because we've created a group for our own multiplayer flights that we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on Twitch. And it just means that at any stage you can log in, see who's flying, and say, hey, I might join them. Because we all know there are times maybe you're not you may not be friends with them in the sim. Or it could be the case that the sim hasn't picked them up, #22. But if it is the case, you can find them on our panel and say, oh, look, Gibbo's flying. Or in this case, it was Whack-A-Mo flighting the good flight over by Cuba. So it is amazing. And I get a huge thanks to Naughty Gnome for the work here, and to yourself as well, Gibbo. Do you know what I mean? Pat yourself in the back. It's great progress. But let us know also, guys, maybe ideas you have for this panel. What else do you want in it? What else should we be putting into it? It's keep it aviation like. Do you know, Murph, I want to know how to do a wins or not. Do you know what? Do you know how to do a wins or not? There's a question for someone. But anyway, it's fantastic. Huge progress being made. So yeah, fantastic stuff, Gibbo. So well, that's it for the news this week. There's going to be so much news between this video and next week. I can't wait, but we have to wait until next week before we can tell you. So be sure to catch us out over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/2ToneMurphy every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2000 Zulu time. And until then, take care.
Take care.